In order to save some time, I have already added this project in our Eclipse IDE by the name of forms, and there is no servlet or JSP added in here. Let us firstly add a servlet in order to getting started. So let me add a servlet. The Java package, we will keep it as blank in order to simplify the URL, and the class name would be controller. Let me click on finish, and a template of a servlet would be generated for us. And if we execute the servlet, then it will give us a very simple message because of this line, and the message would be server at and the name of the project. Right now friends, this in here which is highlighted, this after the base URL, this part is the URL, and this particular part which is localhost colon 8080 is the base URL. So whenever we deal with form, we don't use this base URL because this localhost colon 8080 will change when we deploy the project on the internet, and in place of this localhost our website name will come. So let me copy this for a minute because we will need it. Let me use shift and arrow key in order to select. That would be good. Let me copy this part, and now let me add a JSP file in here. New JSP. The name could be like login, and let me click on finish. Here we go. Let us now add a form. So we will type in form, and the action would be the URL, this particular URL which we have copied. Let me highlight it, this part. So let me copy it, which I already did in fact, and paste it in here. And this would be the action, means whenever we will submit this form, the form will be submitted to this controller. So now let me get back to the form, and inside the form there would be like two input. First input would be maybe email, type equals text, and in here name parameter is very important because name is the identifier of the field. So name would be email, and always by convention people use the name in a smaller case, which I also follow. So keep it as a smaller case, and in here we will make use of password, and in here the input would be same as the above. Input type equals text, and again name equals password. I guess something okay. Tag has been closed in here. Name equals password. Here we go, and self-contained tag closed. Here we go, and finally we would like a submit button. So it would be again input tag, but the type would be submit. Type equals submit. In fact, the type of password would be not text, it would be password. Here we go, and in this input where the type is submit, in here we need to give a value. Value would be the text on the button. So value would be like login. I guess everything looks good now. Let me execute the program. Here we go. Now what would be the method of this form submission is not specified in this file, so let me also specify that. Later on we will also check what happens if we doesn't declare a method. So the method would be equals get to start with. So this is a very simple form, and let me execute the program once again. Email would be my email, chandsheikh@gmail.com, and password would be maybe 123456. And as we have taken the type as password, password would be encrypted and the user won't be able to see that. Now when I log in here, check the URL, as the method was get. As a result, the information is being passed to this controller as a parameter of the URL itself. Hence this URL is email equals chandsheikh@gmail.com, which is the first param, then ampersand, then password equal to 123456, which is the second parameter. And now we can definitely use this information in this do get method and then process it accordingly. Now friends, in here also check that we are making use of do get method. Why? Because the method of the form is do get, so we would be able to read the information which is in the form of get inside this do get method, whereas if the information is of method post, which we will check in a minute, then we will code inside the do post method. Now inside this do get method, let us read the information which is submitted by the user from the form. So we will type in a string, maybe email equals, obviously we will do request dot get parameter. So this parameter will read the information definitely from the form, and we need to pass the argument. Now this argument is the name which we define in here, email, and this is case sensitive and this needs to be accurate, then only we would be able to read the information. So in here inside this string email we will store the email address of the user. Let us do the same with password. I will simply copy this from here and paste it in here, and in place of email we will require password, and in place of string email we will change the name to password again. So now we can read email and password, and to make things very simple we will simply print some message if the email is my email and password is 123456. So we will type in f email dot equals chanshake at gmail.com. Oops, this keyboard is not good at all, and there would be again one condition. We will type in and password. In here we will type in and password dot equals 123456. Here we go, and if these two information is correct then we will display a message, and for that we needs to create one object. So we will type in print writer out equals response dot get writer, and in here we will use out dot print ln. On the web page we will type in welcome. Things looks good. Yes, we will type in else, and inside the braces we will display yet another message, and the message would be login failed. I guess everything is good enough, and let me execute the program by restarting the server. Okay, there is an error, and the error is but obvious because we need to execute the login page. Here we go, and the email as my email, password is 123456. Let's click on login. It will say welcome. If I do something else, maybe some test at test.com, password maybe anything, and click on login, then it will display login fail. So our application is working perfectly. Last but not the least, if we make this as post, then how we need to handle the program. Let us check that. Now when we make the method as post, the URL will remain the same. Means now URL will not show the information directly, and obviously which is better because we won't like to show the password to the world in the form of information at the URL. The information needs to go in an encrypted and a hidden form, and for that matter of purpose, if we make the method as post, so the form will be submitted as a post entity. Now if the form is being submitted to the controller as post, then we need to read it in the do post method. So let us do that, and for doing so let us get rid of this first of all. And if we don't have any code in this do post method, then let us check what happens. Let me execute the program by restarting the server, and it will take a minute. Here we go, and I will type in some random text in here. No need to have a appropriate or accurate information. Here we go. So now the output is blank because there is nothing in this do post method. Now how to handle this situation? The syntax is exactly same. Now if I simply cut this code from here and paste it in here, our work would be done. Let me close this web page now and let me again execute the program by restarting the server. Here we go. And now again some random text, and when I will click on finish, login failed, which is perfect. And mark this thing that when we click on login, the URL doesn't show any information. So let me type in chanshake@gmail.com and password as 123456 and click on login. Then it will say welcome, but this time there is nothing in the URL. So this is known as post method, and this is a very simple overview. In the upcoming lecture we will see the basics of validation, how we can validate these information quickly. And I guess the lecture was easy to understand and you guys enjoyed the lecture. Hope to see you guys next time. Thank you for taking this course and have a nice day.